Okay, good to know. Okay. So that was my trade. That was my entry. Okay. Alright, I'm going to explain this. I could have entered here, but the reason I didn't was because the volume was still lower on these green volume candles. Obviously, didn't look perfect, but what I wanted to happen was the Chris was the low volume, and then the cross was crossing over the moving averages, and then hopefully up to this resistance level, and it almost made it there. It's pretty much there, but it did Chris and cross lower volume on the red candle. I will enter if it hits the 9 moving average, 833. Take profit the highs. See, but it didn't cross over, so and I'm filled. So that's the kind of play I want. I'm gonna study the frick out of that play. I'm studying that play. That is the play I want. And the Hall obviously moved up, so that's good. That was like a 50 tick play. Move my stop to break even, so I was risk free. That's literally the most beautiful play that I want. That's the play that I want. So comes down, supports off this level right here. I marked all my levels on the Weeble chart. I am watching the volume. The volume is decreasing as it comes down, except for a few candles, like some of these red candles where it just goes down and sweeps liquidity. But that's obvious because buyers are also picking it up. So some of that liquidity could also be buyers. So if I wanted to switch the colors of my volume candles, I could just see a little more insight of that. But then price comes up, crosses these moving averages. I take an entry right here, stop right here, and then my take profit was initially right here, but the halt level was like right right there at the time. So I just moved my take profit down to like a few cents below that. Make sure I get hit before the halt because I don't know if I'm allowed to go through a halt level on this prop firm. Sorry, but obviously it took its time to come back up to the level, so the halt moved up as it did. But and then I got like a 50 tick play, so that was good. So I got like 50 cents. That was the play that I'm trying to go for, and it was risk free. It was risk free. I saw on the order book that there was no like we were clear of resistance levels until just about right here around 850, but then we ended up sweeping it, short squeezed, and then broke higher to nearly the high of day. So, and it didn't haul up. There's actually like a lot more resistance ahead than that, but that's the crossover, the crisscross method that I've been trying to. That's the crisscross method that I've been trying to go for. That's literally it. And moving your stop loss to break even after price pushes up a bunch and giving it some room first seems to be good for me. Because when I give my take profit room first and then I can move it up, that's good. Because it's not always, price doesn't always jump down immediately when I enter. Because, like, say I don't know what I mean. I like to move my stop loss up as the trade starts working out in my favor. So I risk less. So my risk reward is actually better than the initial risk reward. And sometimes it just doesn't work like the first trade. And that's just unfortunate. But it is what it is. Yeah, it's the play I want to get. That's a good play. And it was right around the 3-minute mark, so that's like my average trade duration. So yeah, I'm watching the order book, looking for levels of liquidity. It's nice. But I don't know if I'll use this forever. But I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I gotta finish up my strategy. But that's like what I want. So that's a good play. The other one, not so great. And I can tell by the recovery, because the recovery of that level, if it has a higher probability of working out or not. Like let me just zoom this in so you guys can see it. I'll just adjust this so you guys can see everything, but the next days. But this one right here, the recovery of this level, the volume candle, wasn't as good as I wanted it to be. So I didn't enter. I mean, it kind of worked out. Not all the way to take profit. I entered back because I thought we might just need to come down to the 9 moving average first before pushing higher. That didn't work out. There was levels of liquidity to be swept before this happened. And obviously I saw these levels way earlier in the day and I marked it on my Weeble chart right down here. And it did sweep it. It literally swept it before that happened. So I need to mark out my levels of liquidity to be swept and then watch for my setup to come to me. Like, entering in my setup before the liquidity is swept is way lower probability, most likely, because market needs liquidity. Obviously, market makers want to make money and provide liquidity because that's their job, so they have to go sweep liquidity. And that's why my stop loss got swept first before high of day. And now I'm realizing this, so I'll implement this into my strategy too. So thank God for that initial loss, and thank God for this win as well. Because that's like the ideal trade. It's like beautiful. That's what I want to see right there. Swept liquidity into a demand zone, boom, and then the crossover with the recovery of the volume, watching the order book for ahead liquidity levels, and then boom, it's a good play. I could have even held this, but I just wanted to lock in profit, just in case, because watching it how the previous moves happen, didn't want it to be another one of the lower highs, or even a higher high, super liquidity, and then boom. But I don't know. Future, I could start trailing my stop and take profit up, but I'm not doing that right now. So that was picture perfect trade. First trade, that was chase. So chase that, picture perfect. Didn't chase that. That's not picture perfect. Not what I wanted to see. Traded that. That was pretty much picture perfect. But obviously these volume candles were sauce. But as you realize, there's also buyers in there, so that's kind of bullish. If you think about it, looking at the actual candle and watching the order book. So it was good. And the MACD cross. So that was kind of perfect. Like when the MACD is crossing and I get the crossover with recovery after liquidity has been swept, that's good for me.